Dreamy. I just rode this bike here from Baker City, about 42 miles. And this is my touring kit this year, 2025. I actually just put this together at the end of last season. You can go back earlier in my videos, and there's a cool video of me putting this all together in Reno. But I figured as I take it apart tonight and set up my camp here, I will break it down and show you what I carry on my bike, especially on day one. So right here, I mean, this is a pair of pants. You know, you leave in the morning, it's going to be cold, and I don't care. Even if it's 100 degrees in the summer, in Oregon at nighttime, it's like 40. It's unreal. So in the mountains, so I'm going to wear these on the road in the morning, and then at some point during the day, I'm going to get hot and then roll them up and then stick them there. And then later in the day, if it gets cool, I can just put them right back on. So that's super cool to have. This is where I keep my cook kit. I mean, it's just stuffed in there, but it's not going anywhere because I always double protect everything. You see, so that ain't going anywhere. Whoop. Let me tell you a little bit more about the bike. Actually, it's a giant. It's a roamer, it's called. So this is just like a standard like street bike. You know, it does have, you know, the front, but you can, it's just whatever. It's called a roam. So it's a 9-speed. All I really wanted was disc brakes. So this thing was practically brand new when I bought it. I honestly, go back and check out that video. It was brand new. A guy sold it to me for $300, and I love it. The fact that it was blue, that just made it even cooler. So it's beautiful. I love it. It looks funny in the back here, but I don't care because it's just amazing. I have these a duffel here and then one on here. Now what these actually are is they're made to go on the front handlebars, but I don't care. I wanted them here for the wind. When you have all these panniers on the bike, which it is easy. You can just pack your panniers in your tent, throw them on your bike, and roll. I mean, I spend 40 minutes or an hour some mornings putting all the crap back on this bike like you're going to see me take it off. But I don't care because I have a system that everything happens. Like, if I want to make coffee on the road, I got my cook kit right there. And then right here is propane. Well, that's it. I can take my cook kit and the propane and make hot water, make coffee, do whatever I want. Like this box here, I jammed these in here, some wipes. Might want to bring some of those. They're good to have. Anyway, like this box here now, I keep food in here. So now then, if I want to eat lunch, that's it. I can get my thing. If I want to heat something up, cook kit, propane, and this is just full of food. We'll show you what's in there later. But see, that's easy. I didn't have to take any panniers off the bike. I didn't have to go through them. You know what I mean? I just grabbed exactly what I needed for what I wanted to do, got that, and I can put it right back on. You know, now I have one of these duffels I have on each side. Love them. And again, like, I don't know, if it fails, it's not going anywhere. That cook kit actually fell out of there one time when I was on the road in the fall. And I immediately knew it because I could feel it bounced against the tire, and I stopped and it was hanging there. But had I not, I mean, I would have had to go like 50 yards back up the hill to get it. Or who knows, it would have rolled out in the street, car would have went by and ran it over. I don't know. Make sure your stuff is secured to your bike. So I have one of these on this side, one on that side. What we got here are dry bags. So I basically rolled them up and then wrapped them around the seat and clipped them together because I only use them when I'm riding in the rain. So if I ride in the rain, like, that's a bag of cereal I just couldn't throw the rest away. If I'm riding in the rain, the only thing I got to protect my electronics up here. So I'm going to take the electronics and stuff and put them in a dry bag. Or I can take the dry bag and just kind of fold it over that, and it'll, you know, they'll be fine. I do put some electronics in here too, and in this guy, this is what you want. That's it. That's all I carry. At the end of the day, when I'm sunburned, this heals the skin. I never get sunburned. If I've had a lot of sun in the day, which doesn't happen often, I'm almost out of this stuff. But I come and I can feel, oh, I got too much sun today. So, you know, you go take a shower, you wash up if you can, get the dirt and the salt off of your skin, and then you immediately apply this. And your skin is not burned. It doesn't flake off. It immediately heals the skin. So you have dry skin or sunburn, that's the stuff. It's why they sell it at REI. Trust me, this is the stuff. But I like to have toothpicks. You know, this is for my cook kit. A bar of soap, toothbrush, toothpaste. Check out this cool. And little toothpaste goes right in there, and then you can unscrew the back and refill it. So super cool. But that's not enough toothpaste for 6 months that goes in there, so I need a regular size tube to bring with me. Yeah, I got a little brush comb, shampoo, which I don't use rarely. I might use that if I can't get a shower for a week and I just want to wash my hair so greasy and dirty and you're washing up. So that's very rarely. Or I might use that to hand wash my clothes or something. But, you know, I just don't like all those soaps and stuff with all the toxic chemicals. And, you know, that's from a hotel. So it's guaranteed not to be natural and organic. In here, this is basically anything I want to reach on the road, or grab a couple packs of mayos and some chocolate creamer from the gas station before I left. But I keep my power bank in there. You know, got this awesome little light. My brother got me this for Christmas. This is one of my favorite things. It has a magnet on the back, a little clip. I mean, it's got 3 modes, different settings. It's called an O-light. $40. I love this thing. And if I want to, see, I can just, bam. Now I got a headlamp. You know, this thing is cool. Love you, bro. Best Christmas gift ever. Oh well. So in here, I got some earbuds. Strap. I got Samsung Galaxies. I love it because the way I can put them in, and it creates a seal in my ear canal. So what happens is when I use the bigger, you know, this bigger rubber part here, see, that creates a seal. So it muffles a lot of the wind sound. And I carry 2 because after a couple hours of riding, one of them gets low, and I want to switch them out. I like to listen to music almost all day while I'm riding sometimes. So I got 2 sets. You know, that's it. I keep some coins, throw my change in there, a couple of camera wipes. Here's a GoPro battery. You know, and that's about it. That's lighter. I quit smoking weed, but I used to keep my bowl in there. You know, anything you want to grab. But I did. I quit smoking weed. Yes, yep. No more of that. I'm get closer to God without it. Anyway, banana breakfast for tomorrow. So this right here, again, you know, everything's double secured. Can't have stuff falling out and flying down the road. So, boom. That's a folding chair, and this is a rain suit. That's where I keep my phone. It's not complicated. I actually just kind of give it one of these so it's a little closer. It just sits there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fall off the bike. It's right there where I need it. I don't need a phone mount. Doesn't matter. My favorite and necessity is I always, you know, you want to clean the chain, you want to clean the bike, you want to spray yourself down because it's so freaking hot out, and brush your teeth in the tent at night, and you can it's just oh man, I tell you, that food thing in the back, if I can take this and I spray it down and soak it, as the water evaporates off of it, it carries all the heat away. So the contents of that box will stay 60 degrees. You'll see. If you're watching my videos later down the road, I'm going to have that thing loaded up with broccoli and carrots and be riding down the road at 90, 100 degrees. And it'll stay good for 3 days. You know, I might even wet a towel and, you know, put it over there. But that's a great technique. I used to put food in the basket and then put a towel over it and wet it and spray it down. But I love these. So I have 4 cup holders on this. You know, here's a Life Straw bottle. I keep the propane in one. There's my teacup, or today it's a coffee cup, and the coffee bottle, which I love it. I mean, if I make hot coffee in the morning, it stays hot. And then not only that, but like, you might stop at a gas station or something, fill this up with ice, and oh babe, I'll get out there and 8 hours later I can shake it, there'll still be ice in it. So yes, that's awesome. Oh, what do we got in here right now? Oh, mayonnaise, tomato, apple. That's my water bag, the 4 liter. When you fill it, don't hold it by the top. because it'll rip it. You have to hold it by the bag itself if you buy one of these. Because I would hold this little thing and fill it, and the weight of it, it created a leak up here now. But it's just a small leak, and I generally don't carry water in this when I ride my bike, so I don't care. I didn't buy a new one. One thing I love about this is when you buy one of these, I have this, and I have the Life Straw bottle. Now in the Life Straw bottle here, it has this filter, which, yes, how awesome is that? The filter fits on the bag. So I can fill this with 4 liters of water and just hang it from a tree, and it'll just drip down into my bottle, and then I'll have filtered water out of any river or whatever. And this Life Straw is amazing. It is amazing. So depending on where you ride, I would definitely bring one of these. I ride around the San Francisco Bay Area, and I get water out of a water fountain. I filter it. What else do we got? So in here, a nice little pocket. Oh, there's some fun stuff in there. Zipper conditioner for the tent, a strap. I got this is epoxy. I've actually fixed both of my drones with this on the road. So that's awesome to have. I'm definitely carrying it. There's a little rope to hang food in the tree for bears. Not only that, but one time my drone got stuck in a tree, and I used a rope just like that to get it out. You know, you tie a rock to it and throw it up over the branches and yank on it, and then until the drone fell out. Thank God, everything was 40 foot up in a tree. I had to go by 100-foot length of that just to try to get it. Oh, I would have been so disappointed if I would have lost that. Up here is where I keep my cameras, flying cameras, remotes, other GoPro stuff. And I always carry one of these. So this fits in there too, just perfectly. And it's a food bowl. Obviously, I ate food out of it today, but I love it because, you know, my dinner goes in there and I can close it, or I can put fruit and vegetables and stuff in there to ride during the day, or if I make a lot of pasta or something at night and I save some for the next day, I always, you know, I can have it right in there, ready to go. Or maybe I know I'm going to have a long ride, so I make some food and put it in here, stick it in there, so in the middle of my ride I have a bowl of food I can chow on, you know. And this is another one. If I buy a jar of jelly or something, or any little, you know, liquid or something that I want to, you know, save and not carry the glass jar. I like to eat a lot of peanut butter and jelly when I'm riding. Honestly, I got DEET-free stuff, so awesome. But I will, like, you know, bug spray, you definitely want something. Well, if this don't work, I'm going to go get the Deep Woods off. I don't use it very often, but because it's so toxic. But trust me, if you're out here and you don't have this, it's gonna you're gonna wish you had it a little bit for every now and again. I generally like to keep heavy stuff in there. Like if I was forced to fill that 4-liter bag of water and carry it down the road, that's where I would put it in there. To keep the weight centered and heavy. You know, I don't want that thing hanging off of this, or, you know, the basket. You can see that I got to reinforce that, so I can't put a 4 liters of water up there. That's that center pocket. But in here is tech. So I mean, this is a drone battery, GoPro batteries. This is a super fast charger, other chargers, wires, bike lights, you know, things like that. If I know I'm going to be riding into the evening, I'll get a couple of these lights out and stick them in here. That way, as soon as I need them, I can grab them. This one is super cool. I've actually put this one, one time I was riding down the hill in Montana, and it was such a long day. I was so tired. I did not want to lose my momentum or stop the bike. So I was able to pull this out while I was riding and just click it there and turn it on. And bam, I had a light for the people behind me to see. So I could just, you know, and that was amazing. If you're out touring, you know what it's like. It's just at the end of the day, doing 80 miles and 6,000 feet, and you got 10 more miles to get into the city. It's getting dark. You just don't want to be stopping, but you got to be safe. So I can just grab it and dunk right on my hat, and so there's that. But I do have another power bank on the way that I'm going to go pick up a couple miles down the road in a few days. It's a big one I bought off of Amazon that was really cheap. So the other one I use is this is a 30,000 mAh that I got cheap. I have a 50,000 mAh, which is probably about the same size. It's going to be about that thick. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully they serve me. I might have a little too much. There's a lot of ability to charge. There's a couple places I know up the road where I'm going to have to go 2 or 3 days and not charge. So I want something so my phone battery doesn't die and I can continue to at least do a little bit of documenting. But down in here, so this is the pocket that I hope to never go in, but it's just necessary because this is my awesome little bike tool kit. In there, I threw a couple extra shifter cables in there today, you know, tent repair stuff. This is bicycle lube. Well, that I do go in for. I definitely need some of that before I ride out of here tomorrow. You know, I got the cleaning thing. This is basically all maintenance stuff, little ear stuff. I hardly ever use it, but a floaty for the GoPro. I don't know. This is the only item I have on my bike that I carried across the country with me, that I had on my original bike tour 7 years ago. I haven't used it in years, but I just gotta carry it because this has 12,000 miles on it. So it's a mini sewing kit. Bike pump. A little bit more, a little GoPro accessory. This is the cool thing I use to wrap wires or whatever, I don't know. This is for the life straw, so that you can backwash it. And oh, this is an adapter, so that you can take, it's for the propane. This goes on a regular propane and then for butane hookup. You can buy the cheap fuel if you want. I can show you all about that later, but there it is. I got some locks here. Honestly, it's if I'm in a seedy area and I want to go in the grocery store, the bike comes into the grocery store with me. I don't even leave it outside. As long as I just want to go in the grocery store and take the bike with me. It doesn't do any more damage than a go-kart. But this has, you know, just like personal stuff. I got books and maps, and so there's a deodorant in here, a tea, emergency blanket. I like a little thing. I haven't quite organized all my stuff yet. Car keys, you know, little thing there. I keep a beard trimmer and I cut my hair, shave, you know, that's pretty much it. Going for YouTube. Ooh, I forgot about that. I picked that up at the end of the journey last year. We're gonna have to put that on there somewhere. But this is a fun little thing. Everything organized, everything is. Got one of these cool coffee filters to make some coffee. Ooh, here we go. Now this I usually keep, you know, right up here or something, or I can put this in this little pocket and it'll just stay there. So what happens is if I need to tune my derailleurs, I can just grab it. That's always where it just lives there. But I've had this for a long time. I don't want to. This is pretty new. I don't have to tune the derailleurs. Actually, once you get good with the derailleurs, it's not that hard. It really isn't. They can be real annoying until you get good at them, but once you do, whew. So there might be times where I might stop and go into the library or something. That's pretty cool. I actually have this in here. There it is. That's just a bag. The whole thing comes off of there. Got some sandals for the shower. I brought a book. So I'm on a spiritual journey. Life is a spiritual journey, but I don't recommend bringing books. You will not read them. They are weight. But this, I'm going to read a page or two every morning just to set myself in the right place and get my mind set right, and cultivating the empty field. Now, I always carry an emergency bottle of water. This is unopened and I never ever use it. Honestly, it's pretty much for an emergency. Like, I'd be like, and the real reason I'm going to use this bottle is I'm going to give it away to somebody. That's really it. That's what's going to happen. I've never drank my emergency bottle myself. Never. And some wipes, some more wipes, some Seafold towels, and a spare inner tube. I use slimes. They're slimes and they're awesome. Yeah, I'll tell you about these later. This has got a lot. But woohoo! All right, first part done. All right, so I'm going to show you these duffels here now. And I have these organized. So my tent is in one and all my clothes and sleeping stuff is in the other. And I can tell which one has my tent because the poles are right there. And when I pack this up now, obviously I put my tent in, I put the rain fly in, and then I put the footprint in, which means that's what order that they come out. So that, you know, there's my tent, rain fly last. So I can set my tent up. So I did not show you what's in here. And this is an important one, actually, because I carried what's called a switchback, a Nemo switchback. It's kind of like a foam pad that's kind of like, you know, it was very, very common. And I used it always, and I could never let it go because the air mattresses, I always afraid they're going to fail, which I've had that happen. I've had to sleep directly on concrete. So, and then I always carried the switchback to protect the air pad from the ground, which I really didn't need. But it's nice to have something extra, you know? So here, now what I ended up last summer, when I took a small break in the fall for my tours, I ended up hosting a guy from the Czech Republic. And he had over 160,000 kilometers behind him. And he had one of these. And this is what he used. And I actually drove him up into the mountains to set off on his journey, and we stopped at a thrift store, and I bought this at the thrift store. So this is where the universe provides, if you know how to read it, because I was tired of the switchback. I mean, it's big and bulky, and I hardly ever needed it, but it was just good to have. But this is the thing. Now, this has so many uses. Now, if it drops down to really, really cold, I can literally just use this as an extra blanket. I can put it on top of the tent as a sunshade. I mean, there's so many different things. And what I generally do with it, I will show you here. I'm setting up my tent. And now I love this because on the grass, it's not really necessary. But in the forest, it's amazing. Because there's so much, the ground is uneven. And it's really annoying. So I put this guy, oh, come on, you. There we go. Let's get it folded here. Let me get it folded here. All right, put this guy down like so. And that's like a beautiful little flat floor of my tent. And then I love this tent. It's the wind will be your worst enemy out here. You just have to be smart. All right, so I love my tent. It's a big Agnes copper spur UL. I don't recommend it because the zippers fail. They're faulty. And then when you send it in and have them replaced, the company's going to try to make you pay for them like they did me. And I didn't even authorize them to fix it. Because what I was told by the guy on the phone was, oh, well, yeah, if we find there's no damage, we'll replace them free. Because the zippers are faulty on these old models. And here I receive an invoice with a bill. And I'm like, you never even called me to approve. And I threatened a lawsuit. So then they they gave it to me free. I guess they figure, oh, you buy a tent for $600, you know, you can afford $60 or $70, you're not going to complain. And honestly, most people probably don't. They just pay the $60, you know, because I don't. But I do love it because you see that the front is gray, and the back is red, which I wasn't paying attention to, and I just messed it up. But I absolutely love this tent. It really is good. I think they fix the zipper issues. If you actually happen to buy one of these, or you want to buy one, make sure it's a newer production. This is my new pride and joy here. You're going to want a chair. I just, trust me. I don't know. Maybe not. If you're first time and maybe you don't need one because they're the heavy ones. They're heavy. But if you got money, this is the one you want. It's made by Nemo. This thing is just incredible. It's just I've been through like 5 of these things, and you know, for all different reasons they fail or whatever. But and the biggest reason they fail is, I mean, look at this guy. It's just so easy. I actually went ahead and I just redid it because I bought it in the fall and I screwed it up, so I had to rewire this rope, and I used thicker rope, and I had to buy a new base for it, and man, it cost me $70 for one of these little red things, and this piece of fabric was $71. But the reason this chair is cool is because of this right here. See that? Generally, these things, it's just like a fabric pocket, and then you just slide the thing in the pocket. And what happens is the chair just pokes through the pocket and it just breaks on you. And it's just terrible. But the way these snap in here, that's never going to break. Never going to break. So that's that. Now, I'll tell you what's, I mean, this is super cool. Now, this is what it was wrapped up in, see? And, you know, this is where I screwed up because I thought, oh, I'm only going to use it on the beach. I don't want to use it on stones and stuff, so I take care of it, or use it on the concrete. So what happened was I didn't put it on the chair, and then it blew away, and I rode off without it, and I lost it. The coolest part of it, and this is what it is here. See, look at this. Now, it's a base for it. So what happens then is you put the chair in there, and now when you sit on the beach, the legs won't sink into the sand. It's awesome. And watch, look at this here. Look at this. It literally, it reclines. See this? You can pull this up and recline it. You are gonna want one of these, trust me. When you get done riding with a long day and you want to take an hour break, and you can just put your feet up and yeah. I mean, I'll end up sitting here for a solid hour tonight just watching the sunset. Well, I'll watch the sunrise, drinking my coffee in the morning, you know. And like I said here, I got the, you know, I sit up a little straighter. I can do that's right. A little meditation going. But time to kick back and relax. I can it was worth every penny. I just shouldn't have lost the money. It's about $200. But Moonlight Elite, that's the one. I mean, worth every penny. I don't care. Got the money? You know, get one off Amazon that costs $30. It's going to last you 4 weeks. That's it. This will last me 5 years, if not longer, if I take care of it. You know. Well, we got the camera on, looking at duffels. So this is my my rain suit. And this was a treat for myself because I've done so many miles on cheap stuff, and I was finally going to invest in something nice. And now last summer I had money. I went and I bought a $5 coat from a thrift store and a $10 bottle of silicone spray. And because I knew rain was coming. I literally did that, and then the next 2 days it poured. And that coat, not a drop. I stayed bone dry in that thing. So you don't need to go buy the Patagonia Granite Chief or the Granite Crest, you know. But I did, because there's an outlet and I saved $300. But I went ahead and got the Granite Chief pants, and then these are also man, they're $50 gloves, but I had to have them. I actually found a pair for sale for $25 at the end of last year, but then I lost them, so I had to replace them. They actually are waterproof. They work like wool, where they slowly absorb the water, but they keep your hands nice and warm. So it's kind of like a snow glove. When you're out in the snow, you know, your fans don't, you know what I mean? They're really, really great. And now those are my expensive ones, so I really only intend to wear those in the rain or on super cold mornings. So I did have another pair that I brought, a cheaper pair of just regular gloves. These I happen to have in my car. You know, a pair of running gloves or something off of Amazon is what I prefer. What do they have them? They're called, I forget what the ones are called, but whatever, my favorite kind of pair. I always find them at thrift stores, and I did have a pair, but I gave them away to a guy riding his bicycle up the road in Reno. It was freezing cold one morning, and I'm parked there, and I'm watching this guy freezing. He's like, you know, riding his bike, and I'm like, oh, I got it. I had the gloves right there, and they're called Sensitech. Oh, they're like for jogging, and they're just awesome gloves for bike riding. riding and for cold weather. Not as good as those Giros, but these will work too. So I ride out in the morning or going down a hill, a freezing cold morning, and you're going to want some kind of gloves for your hands. Now, what I'm actually going to do a load of laundry today. I want to wash all my clothes and stuff. So what I will do is I do have more clothes. I did bring an extra set of underwear and an extra set of socks, but I don't have another set of shorts. So what I'll do is when I wash all my clothes, I will just wear my rain suit for that 2 hours. And then I won't have anything on under the jacket because I'm going to put this shirt and this shirt in the laundry and my shorts and my socks. So I'll just be wearing these, on my bare skin, and it's perfect. I don't carry multiple sets of clothes. If I shower, I can wash my clothes in the shower. Or, like here, I can do, if I want to do a load of laundry, I just put my rain suit on, and then I can wash all the clothes, including what I'm wearing, and then boom, put them right back on when they're done. I'm not carrying an extra set of clothes. But this is a year-round kit, because not only do I have this, and I already showed you my other pair of pants for regular riding in the warmth, but here's my other duffel. Now that one has my sleeping bag. I only use a summer sleeping bag. I hate big, bulky, I don't care. So I get by. And then what happens is I have a thin thermalite liner. So with this and this, I'm good down to about maybe 45 degrees, 50 degrees. Now, if it's going to go below 40, then now I have, I got the puffer. So again, I treated myself at the Patagonia outlet. We got the 800 fill count, and I will sleep in this. Like I said, in July, it can drop down to 40 degrees in the mountains here. So I end up sleeping in this with my summer sleeping bag and that, and if it goes down to 30 degrees, I'm basically, or like if I'm out riding and it's super cold, I got this and this, I'm good down to 15 degrees with all this stuff. Ooh, doggy barking. Not only that, but my favorite thing, and especially at night now, I got this awesome, nice, thick, these are like a 1/4 inch thick. They're nice thermals. Keep me nice and toasty warm. So I would rather carry this and this than a giant bulky sleeping bag. That's just me. So that's that. Also, wool socks, always carry a pair, if feet get cold at night, you know what I mean? So, and then the idea is if you're going somewhere where it never gets cold, then I can lose all of the warm stuff. I don't need the puffer, I can lose that. I can lose these, I can lose this, I can lose a whole bunch of extra layers of clothes, and then just have my summer sleeping bag and, maybe down in Southern California or something that I don't need the extra, and that's where, So, alrighty. And then I showed you, what else we got in here? It's like I said, I got an extra pair of socks and a boxers. These are merino wool. They're amazing. It's just they don't smell. I don't know how they do it, and it's the most earth friendly, and you'll never go back. Once you go merino wool, you'll never go back. So I have this specific kind that I got off of Amazon. It's the same ones. I've gone through 3 or 4 packs of these in the last few years. I love them. Even wear them for work and at home. But I will take. Well, I rode with 1 pair of these for 5 months last summer. I took 2 pairs with me, but what happened is one of my socks went down the stream. And I was like, oh crap! So I saved a 3rd sock, and I just kind of rotated them out in case I lost another sock. I had a spare, but I never, I would always use just 1 pair, wash them, put them back on. And that was it. I do have 2 pairs, like I said, an extra, because who knows, I lose a sock down the stream, I want an extra pair. This is a classic. So this is my pillow setup. I've had this pillow for 6 years. This is a Sea to Summit. It's like the $60 one, but it's awesome. I need a new one because my little rubber thing came out. It's really hard to inflate. But then I have another cheap pillow here. So what I'll do is I inflate the 2 pillows, and then I can put this on top. That's a nice down one, so it's good and soft. And I have a pillowcase here. So all of that will go in the pillowcase. So now I have a nice stack about like that. So I have like, kind of, I'm laying in my tent. I have you know, I can be up. I'm not laying flat if I want to, you know, look at my, you know, read my book, or sometimes I use my selfie stick to set up and put my phone on it. I might watch a movie, you know, so I kind of have a lounge area going. And then the smaller pillow I like to put between my legs when I go to sleep then. And it's nice. Oh, my good old friend Jim, love you, Jim, gave me this guy. It's probably about 30 years old. That goes in there for a nice soft top. Tie a knot in it. See what I said? Now I got a lounger. Like I said, then that green one will come out and go in between my legs, and then I just sleep on the seat of Summit, and then and it's beautiful. Not too heavy, not too bulky, and soft. I have a, you know, an air mattress, and I just wanted to change. My favorite type of sleeping pad is called a sleep and go. They cost anywhere from like 20 to 30 bucks on Amazon, depending on the season. And I've had one of those last me every single night for 6 months. Every single night I filled it, and it lasted me 6 months. But I just decided to go with a different one this time. And this is one of those where you have to do CPR to inflate it, and but it's okay. It has a little pillow on it, which I like. So it's all right. I tell you what, the key with these is, I'll show you. This is how I fill it. Oh, that. Now I'm just gonna. Yeah. So when I lose this one, I'm gonna buy another Sleep and Go probably to replace it, because this one's a little bit bulkier and a little bit heavier than the Sleep and Go, and I have to do this to it. So I don't, you know, the Sleep and Go I can fill with 6 lungfuls, actually 5.5. 5.5 times, and it's full. So it takes like 1/5 of the time that I do this, but this isn't too bad. You can see it's already, you know, it's already there. Now I'll tell you, see, I originally thought my fear was that something from the ground would poke this, and that's not ever what happened to me. I'm going to tell you what happens. Dirt and debris might blow in the tent, or you carry it in with you, and it falls into these seams, and you rub it in, and it creates tiny little air holes in here. And that's every time I've had one fail, that's why. So this is what I do now, especially if I'm going to take a rest day or something. I'll take my my thermalite liner here, and it becomes a mattress cover. And it's see that now? My mattress is protected from any dirt or anything going on it, and I'm gonna hope we're gonna see. Let's see if I can use this all summer long and not have any punctures or damage in it. That would be cool. If I do that to it like almost every single time, there's no reason I shouldn't. Trust me, when these things fails on you and you're in the middle of a trip, it sucks. And you wake up in the middle of the night and you're on the ground. Like, oh, damn it. Gotta reinflate the thing. All right. We'll talk about clothes. Okay, I wear this hoodie. It's not ideal for all the time because the hood kind of can be a little annoying blowing around, but I wore one all summer last summer riding in the mountains and really hot, and I could take it off and dip it in the spring or the river and put it back on, and a wet hoodie, and I would even have the hood up. And oh my God, quite honestly, when I ride for the bulk of my riding, I take the hoodie off. And I'm just riding wearing a white cotton t-shirt. And that's just my favorite thing. I always bring a white shirt. It might be cotton, or it might be actually I'm preferring cotton this time, or it might be, you know, fake whatever material. But you know, and then when it gets over really dirty and I don't want to wear it anymore, I just buy a new one, and then the old one I'll cut it up and use pieces of it to cover my bicycle seat in the summer when it gets really hot. So it's like, that's kind of, you know, what I do for clothes. Here's a pair of golf shorts. You know, I had a pair that was a little too short last summer, so like I liked them. I liked them a lot, but they were just a little too short. I like to have pockets. Footwear. That's it. When it comes to experience, when you really have experience doing this, what I find is in my travels, that the people the most experienced just want something durable, and that's it. They just want something durable. I mean, you're going to be traveling for 6 months. You don't want your shoes falling off your feet and breaking apart while you're traveling. I bought a $20 pair of Reeboks one time from Ross or Marshalls, and they literally lasted me 4 weeks. I wore them. You wear shoes hard out here, so it's like they literally in 4 weeks these things were coming apart at the seams. I traveled for probably 6 or 8 months with a pair identical to this that I bought at a cheap sporting goods store. And the only annoying part of it was these are river walkers, so they actually come with this strap that velcros. But that was the only annoying thing, that the Velcro strap failed. So I had these, what I did? I just cut them off. And I decided, and they work. I absolutely love them. I can kick it off and have my feet in the sand, in the grass. If I need to, I can shower with them. But I don't, I bought these because these are $80 sandals that I found for $30 at REI. This is how the universe provides for me, man. Because I really wanted a pair of these last year and I missed it. And I don't know how. I go there in the spring and these are on sale. I don't know how. I actually considered testing riding with these because these are very high quality and durable. And I thought, ooh, maybe I could just pedal with these on. So it might come down to it at a point in a couple months. I might throw away the river walkers and give these a shot, or end up just buying a different pair of shoes. The guy that I mentioned earlier in this video from Czech Republic, he wore a straight up pair of like lace up Caterpillar boots, man. I'm not lying. This guy was like, wow, how are you? I mean, but see, what happens is in all of his miles, that's what he wants. He wanted a pair of boots that protect his feet, keep them dry. They don't fall off. They don't, sneakers. I don't like bringing sneakers out. I do. Sometimes I'll buy a brand new pair of sneakers for my bike trips. Because what happens is once they start to smell, I hate it. Every time I take them off, everything smells. I get like the tent smells from the socks stink, the sneakers stink, everything stinks. My feet never stink with these river walker shoes on or sandals and the merino wool socks. They never stink. So that's why I don't wear sneakers. And then the sneakers get wet, and then they're gonna get so dirty anyway. And then quite honestly, like they're hot. If it's in the summer and you have the sun pounding on their foot all day, I can just spray my foot down or wet these and then like, it's just, I don't know. The sneakers, I had a pair of very, very light, very thin pair of sneakers. And I'll tell you what, the dirt came right through the fabric of the sneakers. Like in between my toes, there would just be all this dirt. And I had shoes and socks on. So I'm like, you know what? You have a very lightweight, thin pair of sneakers, your feet are still going to get all dirty and wet, and you know what I mean? So that's why I'm going with the river walkers. I love it. And I know these will probably last me all summer because there's nothing to them. And as long as they don't slide off my foot, the way this sole is, it doesn't slide off my foot while I'm pedaling, and I can, so that's it. I'm not, that's the footwear. But yeah. So another thing I want to explain to you is when you buy high quality gear like this, it can last for 10 years. I actually just bought Nick Wax, a special soap for both of these products. And this one, it'll replace the waterproofing. It smells like it's right out of the store, brand new. It's incredible. And then the down that comes in these have natural oils and stuff on them from the geese. So you actually don't want to wash them with your regular detergent. It ruins them. So the Nick Wax, they also make a special soap just for these jackets. And I mean, it's $15 for 2 bottles. It was worth it. And I have them. And then what I also do is like, I want this clothing to last me for years and years. So I actually, the first thing that's going to fail is the zipper. So I don't even use the zipper. You invest a couple $100 into gear like this, and you want it to last forever, I just use it. That's what I do. That's my tip for you. I just use it as a pullover, and I don't use the zipper. As long as I maintain it, keep it nice, it'll last me a long, long time. So that's the goal. It does bother me a little bit because here, a little feather wants to come out. Every now and again they escape. See, you can't stop it. you know, they escape little feathers, but there's a million of them in there. So as long as it doesn't get a hole in it. This jacket actually came with little patches too that was made especially for it. So super cool. Ski mask. Never leave home without it, even in the summer. I'm telling you, it's cold. And then not only that, there's times I wear this and go down the hills and it blocks the ear, blocks the wind from my ears, and I love that. And I put my hat down and my hood up, and you know that, and then the hat. Again, this is mostly for sleeping, but I've had this for years, and always taken, even in the summertime, permanently part of the kit. My kit, like, is basically, like I said, if I know I'm going to be in a region where it's absolutely not going to get cold at all, I can lose quite a bit of stuff. I mean, just a few things, not quite a bit, but a bit. But honestly, I don't even bother usually because, like I said, I'm up in the mountains in the summer. I don't want to go to Arizona in the summer. That's dumb, you know? So I'm in places where it's going to be cold at night. So my kit stays the same all year round. It doesn't change, and I like it. Got this guy. This is what I call the beach bum shirt. This is a vintage, man. I mean, when you look at this fabric, it's the same inside and out. They don't make them like that anymore. Bought this at a thrift store. It's just too cool. You know, you want to ride into a town or something and you're all dirty or whatever, and you know, you just want to look nice and just be, you know, I like to carry a shirt like this. It doesn't weigh anything. It's nice and cool. I always hand wash it. And this is that's just awesome. So I like to have something nice that and again, like, I stop at thrift stores. So, you know, if I buy something for $4 and then it gets ruined, I throw it away, buy a new one. You know, but this one's so nice and vintage and it's so cool that I don't want it to get ruined. So I keep it really nice. So about this hat. Now, let me tell you something. I never leave. I'll tell you what, even for the ladies, I'd bring this out. I hate not having one of these. I mean, the sun coming off, when you're riding directly in the sun setting and it's just beating on your forehead the whole, oh my God. And then not only that, like often today, I'm riding with the sun on my back so I can do that. And then it keeps the, you know, burning, my neck burning. And there's a purpose to this. Okay, do you ever see any of those old timers, old World War II heroes, and they're rocking their hats and it's looking like that? You know what I'm saying? It might look funny, but you know there's a reason for that, right? You know what I'm saying? So this creates a little shady space up there, and that netting allows air to breathe, and it keeps your head cool. Trust me. And then not only that, but when I'm riding and I'm hot and the sun's beating on me, now I have it like this, and I'm riding and the wind blows right up in there, and trust me, it is much cooler with the hat at times. And I don't, you know, the sun, so there might be a time I'm wearing it like this or like that. Depends on where the sun is, you know. So I never go on a trip without it. And if I lose it, it's immediately replaced. Washcloths and towels. Honestly, this single blue one could serve me, but this is brand new and nice, so I'm going to keep it, and it's my backup. Because what happens is when these things are wet, I end up putting them somewhere on the bike, and I always lose one. I don't, you know, you can pick them up on the side of the road. So, and that happens too. They fly out of the back of trucks. But that's it, you know, so I have one to wash with and then one to dry with. Well, quite honestly, when you have one of these, I don't, even when it's cold on it, I go, and if it's a hot shower, I take this and I wring it out real good, and then I use this, the same thing I washed with, to mop all the water off my body, and that's it. And the trick is really, as soon as you get out of the shower, if you're a little bit, if you mop yourself off with a damp cloth, you're not 100% dry, you know, you start putting your top on immediately, and if you get out and it's cold, you put your top on, you're gonna be warm. It's fine. It's really easy. You can actually just take your hand and go like that and get the water off, and then you don't need a full-size towel. It will not be worth it. You're going to get rid of it immediately. Do not bring a full-size towel. Just one simple thing like this, or a washcloth. I do have another washcloth, which is right here, and I'm not going to carry this for too long. I wanted to use it to clean the bike and do stuff, but I don't need all three of these. You know, like maybe just these two would be perfect. The coarse one for scrubbing, and then the blue one for bathing, and that's it. Last thing is food. You know, glasses. Don't leave home without it. I mean, honestly, for the sun, you'd be surprised though, actually, that when you're out here and you're out of the city, And if, I eat a plant-based diet, my eyes aren't as sensitive to the bright sun, even in the full day. It's weird. And think about it. Well, didn't we exist on this planet for thousands of years with no sunglasses? How did people do it? They're all like, and then I realized, wow, I went to the swimming pool one time. When I first became a vegan, I went to the swimming pool and I was like, I looked at the kids. All the adults had sunglasses on, and then none of the kids did. And that made me think, I'm like, wow, because there are times you go outside and it's like the sun hurts your eyes. You can't even look at it. I suspect there's something in our food that's making our eyes more sensitive to the sun, and it hasn't affected children yet. So that's why the children can be out in the full sun and they don't need the sunglasses when an adults do. Trust me. When it comes to glasses, though, I have a. Oh, where is it? Oh, oh! I knew I left something in the car. Oh, oh man! I had a really cool sunglass case, and it had my night riding glasses in it. Oh well, that's not the worst thing to leave. Oh well, I can replace that easy. I did have a pair of night riding glasses, which are pretty much clear or just tinted light blue that I can put on at nighttime, because the most important reason to wear glasses is to protect your eyes from road debris and insects and different things like that. So don't even think about, trust me, you're going to wear them regardless. Even on rainy days, you're going to wear the glasses to ride the bike. So there you go. Ooh, my sun is going down here. I didn't show you the rest of the contents of this. I brought some cutting boards. I actually really like these too because I can place them on the floor of the tent, and then like my tea bottles and my cups won't fall over. So, they almost weigh nothing and they fit in there. Plus, I don't know, if I'm in an area where there's a lot of dirt and dust and I need to fly a drone, I can use that as a landing or a takeoff pad too. I use this as a collapsible dog food bowl, and I love it because I wash clothes in it. Can you see me? It's awesome. And then it's just this, I've been looking for something like this forever, and I found it on the side of the road last year. So this was a gift from God, and it's exactly what I wanted for this. Yeah, carry a knife, man. I eat. And then not only that, but there's other uses for this, like fighting bears, or you run out of money and you want to rob somebody. I'm kidding. That's not happening. None of that. But who knows? You want to cut some wires or do some things. It's just serrated. But I use it for food and all kinds of other stuff. The random amputation, or okay, and a potato peeler. I also use it to peel apples and stuff like that. I don't know. I just love it. And then even carrots. And then not only that, I'll make a salad. I'll just shave the carrot into the salad, or depending on making a soup, I can just shave the carrot into the soup, so I like, these are worth it. I love it, especially the potato peeler. I have no idea. I don't like eating apple skins a lot. Oh, here's another one I found on the side road. I never use it, but I brought it. Maybe one time I think I fed somebody a bowl of food in it when I was sharing my dinner. So I figured maybe I'll give it away to somebody or something, and that's too much of nothing not to carry. But yeah, I don't have a lot left here. My tech for making these videos, you're not going to be bringing this kind of stuff. So it just doesn't matter. That's like, I just want to make YouTube, I don't know, like, and then document your journeys, which it's highly rewarding for me to document it. I don't make any money, and I don't know that I ever will, but especially the way the world is today. But it's rewarding, and then I can share these amazing experiences with the people who love me, or anybody else out there who wants to try this, or wants to see what it's all about. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a whole video devoted to just this tech. I have two rope locks here, one with a key and one with a combo. I'm pretty sure this little one, if you pulled it hard enough, you could probably break it open, which is why I brought the big one. But quite honestly, I have a lot of faith in people, and I have a lot of senses that I use when I travel. So depending on the area, I could leave my phone, wallet, camera equipment, and everything right here, and I know that it's not going to get messed with in this campground in this little town. But other places, and you just get a feeling, a sense, or you might see people that like, maybe I'll just yeah, I don't know. But part of me wishes I kind of would have left this one because that's kind of heavy and I really don't think I need it. But it is what it is. Like I said, when I go in grocery stores, if I'm in a shady town or a big city, my bike goes right into the grocery store with me. The only other thing I have, I do carry a padlock, and that again, I had it, and what happens is there's often times at hike bike sites where they might have bear boxes or other storage lockers that you can lock your gear in. So the padlock is cool to have. I mean, definitely along the California coastline and and even in Oregon, a lot of places where they have trails and all types of stuff. You have opportunity. You can lock your gear in a box. And maybe you want to spend 2 nights or something, and then on the day free, you can log all your valuables in the box and then go for riding on the trails or go hiking or do things like that. And then that's why the padlock is cool to have. I've been to Big Sur a couple times. I really wanted to go out and spend the day venturing up into the mountains and the trails, but I just never could because I was too worried to leave all my gear there by itself and unprotected. So if I had the padlock with me, then I'd be fine. It's not that I don't think anybody would steal my stuff at Big Sur, but I would just be out there knowing that my stuff is just there, that anybody can walk up and help themselves. It just gives me a sense of discomfort that the lock eases. So I just, I don't worry about stuff getting stolen too much. Honestly, if I've spent a total of almost 3 years traveling on a bicycle, almost 15,000 miles, only one time have I ever had stuff stolen from me. And man, I was in like New Mexico, and it was just, yeah, there was like, it just, guy stole stuff right off of my bike as it was parked right outside of my tent, and it was almost nothing. He didn't take anything of value. Like, it was just weird. And then not only that, as he walked off, he like threw shit that he didn't want away. So there's very important stuff to me that you needed for my journey that he took, but I rode up the trail and like I would find these stuff on the, like I had a pole bag for my tents because I strapped my poles to this, and without it I was like, oh my god, how am I going to carry my pole in my tents? But here he took the pole bag, but then he ended up like realizing he didn't want it, so he just threw it on the ground as he was walking away. So I was actually able to follow this trail into a trailer park, and I ended up talking to a guy, and he was really nice to me, and he enlightened me. He's like, dude, some of these people around here, you're living in a tent, you're living like a king compared to them. And he's right, man. People are literally sleeping out in the dirt with their bare clothes. They have nothing. So you know what, the guy took nothing of value from me. I had spheres, crystal gemstone spheres. He might have been able to sell them for $30. And that was the only thing of value that he took me. It had sentimental value to me, but essentially they were rocks. I can replace them very easily, and I never did. So they belong to my father, which is why they were important. But that doesn't matter. It's just stuff. I hope I covered it all. I hope this is watchable. This is actually the 4th time I've done this. I just haven't been able to succeed in putting it all together. I've missed things. Let me explain something to you. Doing this is so much more difficult than you could ever imagine. It really is, especially after a long day of riding bikes all day. Little mini sponge. I hardly ever use that anyway. But okay, well, get out there and ride. If you're thinking about it, do it. I just do it. It's gonna suck at first. But when you get in what happens is, for me, is I'm going to tell you this quick, is like you transition, you become a different version. You become a stronger, more powerful version. And it takes a day or two, or maybe longer if you've never done it before, but you're going to get into the mode, you're just going to get into it, and you're going to realize, wow, you're not paying attention to all this crap on TV, you're surrounded by this beauty, you're breathing fresh air and meeting new people every day, and it just becomes a lifestyle, and it is amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. And now I have so much experience doing this. By the end of day 1, I'm like right back into that version. It's already like clicking and connecting. And I was all sad, and I was like, oh my god, I was a little scared. I'm parking my car this morning. I'm gonna leave it there for 5 or 6 months, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to leave it. It's so nice and so comfortable. And like, nope. That's just an anchor. I don't need that. I don't want to pay gas. I don't want to pay the insurance. California wants $350 to register it in 2 weeks. Nope. We ain't paying that for 6 months. And I've actually already I put in an affidavit of non-use, so it's fine. There, when I'm ready to use it again, then I'll re-register it and reinsure it, and it will be fine. Bike kit video. A couple little details I missed. This is my light, Luminade. It's awesome. It actually collapses, and then it's got a solar panel on it to charge in the sun. I actually sat this out this morning. It only had 1 bar. I sat this out in the sun an hour and a half ago. And let's see here. Look at that. Doink. In an hour and a half, I got 2 more bars. In another hour, that'll be full. So I can take this thing, and what I do with it, I just slide it up in between. Come here, you. Slide it up here in between my tent and the fly, and it sits right up there. And then it lights up the whole tent inside. And it's not hanging down here, and I hit my head on it. So I really like that. And the other thing I use about it is you can hang it in a tree. I can put it on my selfie stick here like so, and sit it on a picnic table, and it lights up the whole table. Not only that, but if I walk through the campgrounds, I can just use this as kind of a lantern, and then it lights up me and everything around me. A lot of people, they get those headlamps, that's okay. But then I don't know if they realize, like, when you got somebody walk up to you and they talk to you and they got that headlamp shining in your face, you're like, dude, I don't know, I don't like that. I think it's really dumb. I don't. People buy them at Costco, I get it, but it's just, I don't know how they don't think that of the other person and then they got that bright light shining in their face. I just don't. But it is what it is. People are kind of unaware these days, aren't they? So there's that. That's my Luminade. Ooh, look at beautiful. You have to wait for the next video. Hell's Canyon. So I want to show you my bicycle tires. The tires I like to ride with, called these Continental Ride Tours. They're amazing. They're actually made for this. So I mean, they're a little bit of I'm not going to go mountain biking with this, but if I want to do some gravel, no problem. I put the slime tubes in there. The slimes, they're filled with slime. One time I was in Arizona and I pulled 12 thorns out of my tube. At the end of the day, I had 12 thorns stuck in my tire. I pulled 12 thorns out and I had 12 little beads of goo follow. And then it was sealed. I was able to ride on that tube for weeks after that. If I would have had a regular tube in there, I would have had to put 12 patches on it. Or a brand new tube, So these are amazing. This amazing setup. I'm actually hoping to make it the whole summer and not have to change a tube or tire or anything. We'll see. If I do a daily or if I do a good inspection every now and again and get wires and stuff out, it should work. I don't think, barring any, I run over some giant piece of glass or something that really slashes it, but love it. Okay, I'm going to show you the ridiculous amount of food I'm carrying. Oh, don't do this. Do not do this. There's food in every town, and it's just going to weigh you down. But since I have it, and I'm a cheapskate, I'm just not throwing it away, and I am not leaving it in my car all summer. So, yeah, it's just stupid. But you know what? I don't have to buy any food for like a week if I don't want, maybe some vegetables. But I found stuff like this on sale, man. This whole box of these Dave's organic snacks was only $3, marked down from 12. I found these for 33 cents a piece. I found peanut butters for 10 cents a piece. I just couldn't throw the old cereal bag away. I always carry bread. I always carry sugar, some granola for my oatmeal. I'm going to eat a lot of that today. A little bit of chocolate. Lots of ramen. I like ramen. Because these are $1.50 out here in the mountains, or $1.99. I got them for 25 cents. I got some peanuts and a little tea. I have more tea somewhere else. There it is. This is awesome here. I got coffee, some rice. Gonna eat this today. This is heavy. Stuff like this is cool. Like oftentimes I'll carry a pre-made. So if you can get like a pack of rice that's pre-made, maybe like a pouch of beans, I'll carry something like that. Just one pre-made meal that, you know, say you end up stopping somewhere and you don't have a lot of water, so you already have something you don't have to add water in to cook. You can just eat the rice and beans right out of the pouch, and you're not like using water for instant and, you know, dehydrated stuff. But this is my pride and joy. Yeah, it weighs about a pound, but I don't see myself getting rid of it. This is my spice rack. I mean, I got all kinds. I get serious with food. So there's, you know, like curry powder and all kinds of stuff. And even thyme, smoked paprika, rosemary, turmeric. I love it. Salt. Now, maybe I'll dump out half the bag of salt before I climb 4,000 feet over the next 2 days, because that's pretty heavy. Salt's cheap, you know. But I, you know, I can lighten up a little bit. Yeah, I gotta empty some of that out. I got cookies, but that's it. I like to carry, but this is just the stuff I had with me, so I didn't want to throw it away. Especially these. Like, I'll empty my bottles of seasoning in there and then just take them with me because I know I want to cook. Or different things. I'm like, well, I bought these just for bike trips. I also carry extra bags. Heck, this is even like pesto sauce and olive oil, and I just didn't want to throw the rest away, so I just put it in there, and it's just enough for one portion of pasta, you know. So that's in my eyes the next couple of days. Make sure I get some pasta, or maybe even just see about eating this with ramen. I don't know. That's now it'll be gross. Real pasta, but you know, I like to cook out here. I don't just eat ramen and instant mashed potatoes every day. I eat fruits and vegetables and pastas, and I make where is it? I have lentils somewhere. Often I carry here's a bag of lentils. I'll carry lentils, quinoa, couscous, all kinds of other grains if you can find them in the bulks. And then I'll carry that, and I'll make delicious like whole soups that are organic and filled with vegetables and lentils and nutrients, and really keeps me healthy. So I really don't live on this kind of stuff. It's just easy to calorie, and it's easy to carry, and it's got high calories for the weight. So I do like it, but I don't live on it because it's not sustainable. So I know I showed you this earlier, but I forgot one important thing. When I go in my tent sometimes, and there's all kinds of mosquitoes and stuff fly in there, and I don't like to just kill them, because, well, you know, all life is precious here on Earth. Not only that, but then you rub their corpses into your netting in your tent, and it gets all... And so what you can do with this is you put the spray mode on and just spray like that. See? Now I'll take my hat or a plate, and the bugs are up there in the tent, and you just put your hat like this and you spray them, and then it disables their wings and they fall into the hat or onto the plate, and you can just whoop out the tent. You're not killing any bugs, you're not messing up the tent. I love that about it. It's BPA free also. Let me show you my awesome little toolkit here. I actually went to a thrift store up in Tahoe, and I went looking for something like this, and I found this for $1. And it's exactly what it's made for. I mean, it was just a gift from God. So, I mean, I have like I'm going to go through this again, and, ooh, earplugs, yeah. That's a patch for the tent. I carry a full-size pair of pliers. I use these for all kinds of stuff. Pulling teeth, pulling thorns and wires out of the tires. There's all kinds of uses that I want this. I don't want a multi-tool. And I actually had a multi-tool, but it ended up being a brick, and I never used it. I would use like 1 or 2 tools out of it. So I'm carrying this big brick, and I'm not using, you know, any of the tools in it. So what I did was I actually took it apart, and I pulled this one Allen wrench out of it and I got rid of the rest of it. And then what I did was I went and I just got Allen wrenches that are regular size, and I hate that one, but it's for my seat. I need it. So I have an Allen wrench for everything on my bike. Like, I went and I took it and checked and made sure. So when you work on your bike, you want something regular. Like, using that multi-tool was terrible, so I'd rather have these. And honestly, by the time I was done swapping, all of my little tools that I actually needed weighed half as much as the multi-tool. This is a cool thing here. You know, that's one of the reasons I loved my old multi-tool, because these guys came with it. But it was hard to use, so I found this at a thrift store, and there it is, you know, tire changing stuff. These are if you strap stuff on. I don't need those anymore. I used to carry that. I don't need that anymore. I don't need that. I don't need that. Well, I actually kind of do like to carry these just in case, but I don't need them. What am I using them for? A little screwdriver? I don't need that. I don't think. This is my chain brake. You know, I don't need that. That is was a patch kit. Oh yeah, there's one in there. I got slimes tubes, so I don't need that, but it doesn't weigh anything, so I'll carry it. This is actually on this is an adjuster. It's a valve adjuster. That's really cool. You don't realize you have that, but they have valve adjusters inside of the and then this is an adapter. They have a Schrader valve and a what was the other one called? I forget. There's two different kinds of valves, so this is an adapter. Don't know why I have that. Super glue I always carry. There's a spoke tool. This is cool. It's got all these little wrenches on it, but one of them works for my pedals. I really like that. It doesn't weigh anything, so you know that's it. I'm gonna go through this and pull some stuff out. I brought along shifter cables just in case. And that's it. That's my toolkit. I'm gonna go through and pull some stuff out. Don't need that. Don't need that. You know. Yeah, I think I want that. But there it is. So I fixed my bike. I can work on it. I actually pretty much I can almost tear the whole bike down and rebuild it with this. Look at these trucks. It's Idaho Power Company. They have a couple hydroelectric dams along here. How cool is it to keep those trucks running for 50 years? Let's talk about helmets. Now I wear a helmet when I snowboard or ski, and I think it probably saved my life 2 years ago. But I don't when I'm riding. I just don't. I mean, the first thing is that's between me and God, because there's a much higher purpose and there's a much more convoluted and detailed reason that I do this, and that's for another time. But and then the second part of that, the real truth of it is like, if I'm gonna be rolling down the road and get hit by a car or truck and thrown off my bike into a tree, I don't really care anymore. I don't need to be a quadriplegic with a beating heart and a set of eyes that work. I don't care. I would advise to wear a helmet. Don't let me be a bad influence on you and think to come out here and not wear a helmet. So that's that. But well, yeah. Cheers. Hopefully that wraps this up. Oh, it smells like heaven. Now you know what to do. You just hit the button and then scroll. It doesn't cost anything and it takes 1/10 of a second. If you got something out of this video and you'd like to thank me, help me out and subscribe. If you hated the video, leave a comment. Okay. Thank you. Beautiful world.